I'm ready, Angie.
All right, go ahead.
We will call this city council meeting for the city of Yamhill to order Wednesday, September 10th, 2025 at 6:31 PM. Can we have a roll call?
Ken's here.
Askey here.
Karen here.
Morgan here. We could rise for a flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a telephone.
Seriously.
We did. No, it's just, if anybody's having a tough time hearing, we can follow along with the karaoke. So public comment. Yamhill encourages all citizens to comment on any city business. This is not a dialogue platform. This is not a question and answer period. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes. If you have a special request, accommodation, or need additional time, please call the office in advance. First person on the list is Robert Davis. Would you like to speak tonight?
No, sir, Mr. Mayor, but thank you so much.
All right. Carol Pendergast has a question mark next to her name.
That's okay. I didn't know if I was gonna speak, but
Okay,
I'll be quiet.
and then you don't have to? Okay. I know Ms. Morrison would like to speak now.
On behalf of the YDA, I could combine those both under the, even because it's a separate.
Whichever you prefer would be fine.
How about if I'll just do a quick Yamhill
Sure.
Downtown Association update? Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me speak. So the Yamhill Downtown Association, we have been working on our updated plans and objectives. And what I would like to mention is that two things: we are really aligning with what City Council is doing and focusing on the beautification of downtown. So we've got a new kind of pitch for the holiday lights and putting together an outreach to businesses on getting people to contribute and pitch in to kind of light up. We have more of like a theme, light up Yamhill all winter long. So it's not just holiday lights, and we're trying to define like what the YDA's objectives are, the money that it costs to do the lights, and to try to get people to actually contribute, you know, businesses and individuals as well. So our bingo is kicking off, and that is the main fund. Well, that's the sole purpose of bingo, is to fund the holiday lights. And then I know that we've been talking about like how we can partner with the city and kind of working towards getting towards partnering more specifically around the lights, but that's what's going on there. Also, the YDA is very much on board with aligning with the city with supporting the planting of trees, the beautification, what's going on around trying to like get people to slow down. So this theme of slow down and spend some time in Yamhill, you know, both for public safety and, you know, to get people to not just pass on through. So that is happening. Also, one other point I'd like to make, the YDA, we've got this year's annual Oregon Main Street Conference is next month, October 8th through 10th in Albany, and 2 of us are attending that. The theme of this is dedicated to the long game, and it's reinforcing the potential of community when you're creating a vision and thinking about how you'd like your town to look, your downtown to look, the feel, the function, and there's programs and workshops on solutions for community challenges. So it's open to the Main Street organizations, it's open to interested citizenry, it's open to the you know, city administrators and people. So it's not just the YDA that can attend. So I just want to put that out there as well, but nobody else can go. We will report back. Those are my points.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And let us know on that too, you know, as soon as possible, how we can help with the whole lights and the trees.
Yes.
Right, with it, because we have some plans, we should probably meet soon to.
Yes, yes, and some info from Tim to, go research, yes, so we need to coordinate and come together, but the problem right now is the payment is due for the down payment for C&D landscaping. And so, like, what we've always done kind of just has to like be locked in now. And so I think some of this, like, next steps will be perhaps for next year. I mean, if we can do more this year, great, because, you know, the bill for the initial payment and then, you know, are up throughout the whole winter. So I'll share more when we get our letters. We have them just coming together for what we're gonna send to community people and then businesses, and some that we're gonna take around and some we're gonna have for our, like, an email blast as well. So, cool. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that, if there's no, is there anybody online? who would like to speak,
Chris
or-
was gonna log on. She's working.
Okay, I have one person online. Stephanie, if you're wanting to make a comment, if you could please raise your hand. Thank you, pressing star 9 if you're on a phone. No public comment online.
Okay. We will move on to the agenda updates or additions. Do we have any?
I don't.
That was quick. And then we're moving on to the consent agenda. So could I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda
As,
is it stated?
yeah, sure.
As stated.
As stated. And then we can then open up for discussion if anybody has any discussion on the 8/13/25 executive session or the 8/13/25 council meeting minutes. No discussion needed. We can take a vote.
And
Oh, did we get a second for that? We
I
did
was
not
going
get a
to, but you
second.
kept talking.
I'm sorry.
I
Go
second the
ahead.
motion.
Fantastic. No discussion. Can we get a vote?
And
Askey, aye.
Aaron, I.
Morgan, aye. Okay. Department reports, city administrator report. Last month we did the PowerPoint and went through that, and then we kind of figured, speaking with Angie, that a lot of that was then repeated by Public Works and by the police department. So if you guys are okay with it, I think we'll probably do that every other month with the PowerPoint. And we can just go some of the basics on what we've been doing, just verbally here, and then go through the different departments, if that's all right. So with that being said, so city administrator report, we've been working on some of the next steps to receive payment for the Merkley grant, which should be coming any moment. It's just details at this point. We're working still with Walt Wendelowski on the TSP and the TGM grants, which would help with the downtown associations. Trees, lighting, sidewalks, all sorts of really cool stuff there. We've been working with some policy adjustments for the city. And been working with Chief Graven and getting caught up in how the city interacts with the police department a lot more. So that's been exciting. Moving on to the financial report. That is where we've moved the finances that used to be in the consent agenda. So our accounting manager has written a report, and so you will notice as you went through the financials for this month, there was $41,926.20 in revenue with no amount budgeted as income in the general fund. And that was for a payment that was received, a reimbursement for a grant that was in last fiscal year. The budget committee, we removed the miscellaneous line from some of the items this year because we were being more specific as to where that money would go. Not realizing things like you could get your grant payment late. And so that's where that came from. Also, the water fund shows income of $14,648.86 without revenue budgeted for. This is where the money landed for the fuel shelter that was damaged by the semi truck. That was money that came back in to rebuild that building. That building was rebuilt for slightly less than what we received for payment. So, and we got a better building out of it. What do you say? So that's where that is. And then the water and sewer fund shows a miscellaneous income of $640.50 from Newburgh Ford. That was for the licensing reimbursement because it was a public vehicle. So we were credited back that money. So that would show any of the information that you might need to know that would be sort of out of the norm for the financials. And then I guess we would move on to city staff reports. So city staff has been doing what they do. They're taking the water payments, they're handling a lot of, again, policy updates have been happening. We actually just had the auditors come for the budget for the year that we just finished. That normally takes 3 days for them to be in here going through our financials. They actually achieved that in 1 day because we were actually in order. So that is I think a pretty good thing, a nice accomplishment.
Get a discount for that?
We don't, but we get our information back likely faster, which is great for making plans and adjustments throughout the course of the year. So that's pretty exciting. Angie's been working hard with me on setting up some of these things for the meetings and things moving forward. And she actually helped me write a resolution, actually, about a month ago. So I was pretty excited about that. And she's been my IT tech support today. Moving on to the police department, police stats. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. Does anybody have any questions about the staff report or the statistics that are included in the agenda that I can answer?
I do not.
And if not, then I have nothing more for the good of the order.
Thank you. And moving on from there, we would be with Public Works. Jason Wofford could not attend tonight, but Kyle, thank you so much for coming. Did you have anything that you wanted to?
If anyone's got any questions about anything or.
How's the intake screen? Is it finishing up the project?
We're waiting on the screen.
Okay.
The forms have been built, all the concrete's been done, just waiting on the screen and cut out the intake, but say 90%'s done.
And we'll easily complete that inside the window, the work window that we have. We think.
That I cannot guarantee. That's not on us.
Nope, that's on the contractors, but that's what they do. Well, that moved really, really fast. So we have committee reports. Do we have a representative from the planning commission?
We do not. He submitted a report in writing.
He did.
which is included in the packet.
So we could read that out loud if we wanted to. Would somebody like to read that?
No, it's not already included. Which page is it?
It would be,
I'm happy to read it.
you want to read it?
Sure. From Sean Freilinger, as chair of
Yeah.
the planning commission, I am pleased to provide this brief update on our current efforts in alignment with the direction provided by the city council. The planning commission is actively working on 3 priority tasks that were formally assigned during a recent joint planning session. Each item is being approached with the community impact in mind and commitment to timely progress. At our last meeting, the planning commission reviewed the scope of each task and our general approach to complete each. The 3 assigned tasks are as follows. Review lighting ordinance to see if it needs any slight adjustments to fit in with the new code changes and provide a recommendation to council on any necessary adjustments. They have emailed to Walt and he is working on that. Help establish CBD as historic district and assist with drafting or updating the relevant code to align with this. The planning commission has briefly discussed the designation and it was clarified. We are looking to create a local designation. They have emailed Walt to understand the process and necessary ordinances that may be necessary. Assist in establishing a more specific set of standards for downtown development that keeps the look of Yam Hill, i.e. acceptable materials, design, etc. The planning commission discussed how this would be interrelated to the CBD Historic District and that the Downtown Association will start the process for working to define the look of Yamhill. We included this in the email to Walt requesting some guidance on the process necessary code updates. Further updates will be provided as we define the process and related tasks. I'll add to that Walt is working on these three things. He was not able to complete staff reports for all three of them. So rather than meet this month for planning commission, and discuss one thing for 10 minutes, they're just gonna hold off in October, go over all three of these items.
Wonderful. We are moving, I can't believe how fast this is going, actually. Yeah, Jenny Morrison, we could talk about the Economic Development Committee report.
Well, hello again, like only yesterday that I was here. Thank you for the opportunity to report out. I would like to add with what was shared regarding the planning commission. I think I think he meant to say not the Yamhill Downtown Association, but the Economic Development Committee is going to be reporting that
Yes.
advice. Yes. So with that being said, we met on Tuesday, September 2nd, and we are working on coming up with recommendations to share with the planning commission on the design standards for downtown. And so fitting with everything that was mentioned with the desires of the city, we've got, we're getting input from doing outreach to different business owners, downtown property owners as well, on what they would like to see and envision for downtown. So getting community input there. I'm also incorporating input that was from the last March of 2024, the strategic planning work session, incorporating those ideas as well, and some highlights for that seem to fit are the safe routes to schools, maintaining the community flavor and revitalizing downtown, maintaining historic value while increasing business and enhancing community engagement. So we're taking those themes and then we're discussing as a committee what else is out there and examples from other communities that have also put together design recommendations. So it's a little bit different, takes it beyond, the codes. And so, it's like what materials, what's the feel that we would recommend for the planning commission. And so we are kind of starting with the overall purpose to preserve the historic character of Yamhill, to promote pedestrian-friendly development, and that ties in with that transportation grant. The objective of that with sidewalks and just making it more back with the safe routes to school and safety for pedestrians. So the pedestrian-friendly development and ensuring architectural cohesion in the downtown core. So with those general goals, we were kind of coming up with different themes that seem to fit. Again, the architectural compatibility and contrast, because we have challenges with Yamhill. There's the historic buildings, there's from different eras, the existing buildings from different eras. There's new things being built. There's old buildings that are torn down and what we would like things to look like, as new things are built. So considering those things, thinking about, again, getting people to slow down, what you can do to encourage people to not just, pass through, whether that's speeding through or also slow down and spend time to shop here, to enjoy the town, to spend their money here. Idea for people who live here or maybe moving into the new neighborhoods, and to provide opportunities for them or reasons for them to not just work maybe outside of the area and commute and then come home, but actually stay here on the weekends and do things and after hours. So working on that. So we are going to meet again on October 7th. We're reviewing then what other cities have done and going to start kind of filling out a template on recommendations and putting together a good starting point for the planning commission. And then from there, we would incorporate the community input on what the feedback is and make sure that it's really like fits with as many engaged citizens as we can get. So those are kind of the main things that we're doing. So again, the next session for us is a work session. So we're just going to be kind of hammering out these details. Any questions on that or?
I think you're doing great. It's very cool.
Thank you. Yeah, we've got such a motivated group here, our little crew of 3. And then we are, you know, trying to not hire, get a new, procure another person to join.
Or a couple.
Yeah,
Is it just down to 3?
it's down to 3.
Down
We
to
have,
3.
we have interest in a 4th spot.
Dustin, myself and Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for, you guys are doing great work. You're just 3, so especially. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Moving along to council reports, there are none that have been submitted. We have to have our council reports submitted a week in advance. That includes the mayor's report. Just briefly, I wanted to mention that Patty Perrin and I have, I should have gotten this into you and I apologize. But we are looking at setting up a meeting with the cities of Newburgh and Sherwood to discuss their photo radar systems and how that's working for them. We talked about that last time and I did not get that turned in time, but I didn't want you to think I forgot about it, Patty.
No, because I talked to ODOT today.
Okay. Well, we will talk more about that and we'll put together a report for the next planning or the next council meeting. And we should have a nice report for you guys on that. Moving along to the unfinished business. So we have the park fee ordinance discussion. So that's been tabled until the master plan is complete. I have not heard anything back from AKS on that yet. And that's something that I'd like to reach out in the next day or two to find out where we are on that. Because that's something that we need to maybe get an update on. And also tabled was the lighting ordinance, and that was tabled until review with legislative amendments, and that was gonna come from Mr. Wendelowski, I believe. Is that true?
Yes, he's going to report it to planning and then.
And then it'll come back to
Yeah,
us.
we know if
Okay.
there's any changes necessary.
The next one is the planning commission ordinance. It's the membership amendment discussion. We tabled that. That was so planning commission has been running short on people. The posting went up for a new planner on the 6th of January. We had one person that applied that lives inside the city limits, and she was actually brought onto the planning commission. We have one commissioner that we expect to be leaving at the end of the year. And we have one person who submitted an application who lives outside of the city limits. We discussed that person's application and what that would look like. We'd actually have to change the ordinance to allow a second member from outside. We currently only allow one. We have, again, because we have had nobody from the city, inside of the city that's offered to help in the planning area. If we do have a person that is absent, we will not have quorum. So if we have any land use issues, we will not be able to continue those meetings. So for that purpose, I was wondering if we could get a motion to bring that back from the table.
I make a motion to bring back the planning commission ordinance membership amendment discussion.
Well, we need a second. So as we discussed last time, so the way that works currently is we had a situation where we didn't have anybody that wanted to serve before. And they made an exception that one person could live outside of the city limits and serve on the planning commission. And that was Ken Moore. who served for a number of years, and actually served as the president of the planning commission for a long time. I want to bring up the fact that we discussed last time that there was some concern that somebody that lived outside of the city may not have the best interest of the city in mind. Although I do see that as a possibility, the authority to remove members lies with us. If we appoint them, we can remove them. A member of the commission, and I'm reading from the mechanism here in the ordinance for that. A member of the planning commission may be removed by the appointing authority after a hearing for misconduct, non-performance of duty, or upon his or her absence from meetings from the planning commission for 60 days without the consent of the commission. If a person hasn't done any of those things, there would be no reason to remove them. If they were operating in a way that wasn't in the best interest of the city, there's a mechanism to remove them.
So if one person leaves, though, that's gonna make 2 outside the city and 2 in the city. That's a concern. That's a real concern to me.
And I understand that concern.
I mean, isn't there a way that we can reach out to the residents within the city?
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about that last month?
Yeah, but
I've asked everybody that I knew. I don't know anybody that wants to apply for it or that's willing to serve. I mean, we discussed in depth 2 or 3 months ago that we would put out, I mean, it's posted. We mentioned it in our meetings, at the planning meetings.
well, and I talked to somebody that said, yeah, they'd like to be on it, but it's the time frame that it takes to make a decision that is a deterrent to this person. Because
Well-
it drags on and on and on in order for any decisions to be made. And that was, like I say, that was the deterrent for them.
So that really comes down to, and I think that Ms. Pendergast would agree with me, so she and I served on the planning commission together.
And I would consider doing it again if I could talk with you later.
So absolutely. So we do have, and that's great. So we have an opening now. Let's say it like this. We have an opening now and we have a commissioner leaving at the end of the year. Even with another person coming in, you're still short, and you've been short for a year at that point.
Right.
If we change this ordinance, that does not mean that we have to, another person could apply in that period of time. It would take 2 months, we think. Best case circumstance, you might be able to get away with a month.
That's if everybody agrees.
If we had a unanimous vote from council, we could pass it on the first reading. If we do not, it would be until November. And then we would pass, if it passed, would be just with quorum. Does anybody have thoughts?
I'm for it.
Because again, if somebody was doing something that was unethical or,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, then you put it in.
and there, I believe there's a limit of within
And
5
that's-
miles of the city.
But
Yeah.
that's not even limited to people who live outside of the city. It's like if you hear that
I mean,
there's a problem,
unethical
then-
can be anybody.
Well, exactly, you could have a problem with somebody that lives inside of the city.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just to live outside, I don't see personally myself the issue. Because it could be stopped. It's not, you know what, it's hard to remove a counselor,
And if,
right? Like, that's a process. To remove a planning commissioner's
I think
just a
that,
hearing.
I think that if residents but outside of the planning commission don't agree with it, that'll give more reason to run in the next election.
For
City
sure.
limits.
Because we do have, I mean, as Carol knows, I mean, next month, we should be getting applications in for the end of the year, right? I mean, when will we be posting for the opening position? Because there's
This year?
2 that are coming open.
There's, one, I believe.
So the other one
Two.
would,
Actually, Mary took over someone's who ends, so we would ask Mary if she wants to play again. Because she is finishing out the term of.
right, so her term ends.
And Already, her in already?
Yeah, because she's finishing out the term of a previous planning commission.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Sure. So now imagine this scenario. She doesn't like it. And she's like, no, I'm not gonna do it again. Carol decides she doesn't wanna do it. That leaves Sean and Ken.
Yeah,
That's not quorum,
no.
right? So although I completely understand and the outside person that, I mean, it's a little odd, but we do have a small town. And we have a lot of people, the costs are going up, people are having to work, they don't have time. I mean, we can see how many people are here at the meeting tonight.
And we want people from outside of town to be part of the community as well.
They are part of the community.
Yeah.
I mean, we have, well, normally we have Pam Kirsch that's here from outside of town. She's here all the time. We have, Mr. Rybel, I didn't want to say his, I couldn't think of his last name. I just called him Daryl. I didn't want to say it. Anyway, but he's from outside of town and he's here because he has interest in this town, right? He owns plenty of houses in this town.
Right, but when I say they don't have any, they don't pay taxes, you know, they don't. And I'm just gonna use the gas station, for instance.
Mhm.
That was a thorn, you know, to a lot of people. And if we would have had two people outside of town and one person that was in town that was voting on it for quorum, and they didn't want it, you know, the one person that is in town wanted it or didn't want it, but the other two did, just because it'll benefit them for the gas, you know, going to and from work or whatever.
A good
Then
point.
they could vote for it. And the person that actually lives here that has to deal with it on a daily basis, they're out of, you know.
Well, and I see what you're saying there, and let me respond to that with this, something that I learned with her. If you voted that you didn't want, or you made a recommendation to council that you did not want a gas station because you didn't like it, or because you voted yes for it because you wanted better gas, that would actually be a reason to remove somebody. Because the only reason to vote yes or no is code and criteria. If our code allows it and our criteria allows it, then you can vote yes for it. If the code does not, then you have to vote no. So what they're doing is they sort of filter for us the codes and criterias, make a recommendation to council. Okay, so then council makes the final decision on that.
Right.
So there's a second layer of protections there. And the nice thing is we do have currently serving some people that are actually dedicated to it. I think Mary had previous planning experience. Ken is very much into, I mean, he reads, studies, and Sean as well. Lynn has done a great job, but he's also, I think he's retiring and deciding to travel.
Yeah.
So with all that said, I would like to entertain the idea of, now, the open seat. When would be the expiration of that? You know, that's on the spot stuff.
I don't know off the top of my head, apologies.
By changing this
It would be
ordinance,
this year or next year, that's, I mean, I can tell you.
Sure. By changing the ordinance, it wouldn't put that person into place. What that would do is it would give us the flexibility to allow two.
Right.
And we can, I mean, make that determination as it comes up. But I think that we should have the flexibility. Also, I am so sorry, I forgot that if you guys wanted to leave, you totally could after your reports. That is very rude of me, I apologize. You're welcome to stay as well, I like hanging out with you, but I did not mean to keep you. Sorry, again, they're like, gosh. I even wrote it down.
So I'm gonna ask this question. So if the ordinance is changed to allow a second party outside of the city, would we then vote tonight or bring that other person back?
No.
that has,
No, because we couldn't do anything with it. We would actually, so we'd have to have a, we'd have to post it. So we'd have to vote to direct staff, right? We'd vote to direct staff to adjust the ordinance
Right.
to allow 2 humans from outside of the city limits to serve. And then that would have to be posted and public notice. And then we wouldn't be able to do anything with that until the first reading. After the first reading, we could vote. If we vote unanimously, yes, then we're allowed to have that person, but we do not have to. We couldn't even discuss that person, I don't think, as filling that role until after that ordinance is changed. So what this would do is provide us flexibility.
right, that person would then have to reapply.
We still have the application, and it was tabled, so we could bring that back. But what it does in the future too, is if there was somebody that became ill or somebody that decided they did not want to serve, quit abruptly, we could always then appoint that second person.
May I ask a question?
Not normally, but sure.
Is this zip code? Do they live in the zip code?
Yes, it would have to be 97148 and within 5 miles. So that a circle drawn from the center of town.
I feel like if you keep waiting and we keep dragging this on and on, the people that you do have that are interested and not in our zip code are going to lose interest.
For sure.
If they haven't already.
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, we have everything that we've discussed. There are concerns. It doesn't mean we have to appoint anybody. It gives us the flexibility to appoint somebody. And so if we were going to vote, I mean, we just straw poll this, I would be voting yes for that, to have the flexibility. I think Tim had mentioned he was gonna vote
Yes.
yes.
That would be a yes.
So if we did do that, then so we're still a ways out from actually filling that seat if we were to.
30 days at the very, very minimum.
Okay.
So I have an email that would actually spell this out. So basically what we're gonna do, if we were going to vote, we would be voting to direct staff, so the motion would be to direct staff to adjust the ordinance. Sorry, I'm doing 2 things at one time. To allow a second person outside of the city limits to serve on the planning commission. That said, and that ordinance is in here, Angie? Was it?
I don't know if I provided a copy of that.
No, okay, that was the one for the leave.
It's on the website, I can pull it up really quickly.
No, it's fine. So if we could get that ordinance number. Oh, actually it would be.
I don't have it. Try to memorize how to get here, right?
Right.
Ordinance 507.
So it's ordinance 507. Thank you, Angie. I'm sorry for the patient.
Put you on the spot.
I know, I should have had that myself. Yeah. So what we would do is we would ask for a motion to direct staff to update the ordinance 507 to allow 2 members from outside of the city limits and still within the 97148 zip code and within 5 miles of the city center.
I I make a motion to update the ordinance 507 to allow 2 members from outside of the city limits and still within the 97148 zip code and within 5 miles of the city.
Second,
Askey, second.
we take a vote?
And I,
Oregon, oh, sorry, Oregon last, go ahead.
Askey, aye.
Karen, nay.
Oregon, aye. So that would pass 3-1. Oh, did we get Featherston online?
She's not online.
Okay, so that would pass 3-1. And again, counselor, it's just flexibility.
I understand.
Okay, just so you know.
I
okay.
understand.
All right. Moving on, where is my? Where did I lose that? That would finish unfinished business. Moving on to new business. So there's a resolution of authorizing the creation of an employment paid leave donation program. Did anybody have a chance to read through that at all?
yeah, I read it.
Okay.
This is the one you wrote?
Well, with Angie's assistance, and I'm not gonna lie, a little AI helped out there. Can we get a motion?
I have a question.
Yeah, oh, yeah, well, you would make a motion and then we can discuss.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What did you?
I make a motion, or do you need me to read the whole thing out?
No, I just think we can make a motion to,
I make a motion to approve resolution DR 25.01 R-844, a resolution of the city council of the city of Yamhill authorizing the creation of an employee paid leave donation program.
I second the motion.
discussion.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Askey.
Where, I was just curious where you, cause, I mean, I'm assuming, where did you get this from, like borrow this from?
The state has a program like this.
Okay,
So a lot of companies do have it. This was actually, the idea of this was created from staff.
yeah,
So staff wanting to know it, like what the mechanism would be to be able to donate sick leave to somebody that has been out or has not accumulated or what
Yeah.
have you in a time of need.
yeah, I was just curious where like the actual, like, just to make sure we didn't forget anything that we didn't think of. But it, cause but it seems very put together and it's because it's,
I believe it was a model ordinance, but I
Okay.
don't remember if it was from, the CIS or LOC.
okay.
Does anybody have issue with it or concerns? We have a vote. Oh, so Angie's done a neat thing. So it says resolution DR 25.10. That's a draft resolution. So that way, if we were to table that or not go ahead with it, then resolution 8-44, which would be the next resolution passed, would still be maintained. So by leaving it in the draft form until we go to vote on it, is that correct? That actually frees up time and sort of streamlines the process. So as we're going through the draft bit, you'll see the DR. And then as we go to vote on it, we would just read the R-844. That's what it would be known as.
And that, how does that save? time?
Because if we assign an 844 to it and then we table it for a long period of time, and then another resolution comes up, then you would have to go back and pull that off of this one, reassign this one another resolution, put this one onto the new, but just,
Okay,
it can just stay as a draft until we decide to go forward with it. But I think we'll go forward with it now. And we have a vote.
You've already made the motion.
We made the motion.
Okay, Kendai.
Askey, aye.
Karen, I.
Morgan, aye. So that would pass unanimously. All right. So we have information and announcements. September 11 is Patriots Day. Flags will be at half-staff from sunrise to sunset. Although you may have noticed that the flags did go down today to half-staff. That was from a presidential order. The flags were ordered at half-staff from today until 6 p.m. on Sunday. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that says Let's Paint Yamhill Pink. So With Courage is an organization that supports folks going through breast cancer. And they're going to have some pink lights going up here in town, and I think some of the businesses are participating. And it's a nice thing that they do. And we're hoping next year we'll have trees so that we can put more pink lights up, and it would be a bigger, better celebration for us. We've run out of things on our agenda
Can I ask a couple questions?
about the pink lights.
No.
About what?
The bus stop, the new bus stop. Are you all aware of it? Okay, so there is a bus stop sign. It's a little, A-frame board, very small, at the corner of Azalea and Maple. I don't know who put it there. It just popped up the beginning of the week, maybe.
I think that one was just moved, was it?
This is new. It's only about this big. And it's a little A-frame.
Okay.
And anyway, so it's right on the corner, but the problem with it is that they just, whoever just came through and did all the new parking and this yellow line down the middle, and, they painted the curbs and put new parking, painted the parking spots and all of that.
Mhm.
Well, where the bus stop is a parking spot. And so there's a guy that he's here early, I'm gonna say around 5:30.
Mhm.
And he parks his truck there 3, maybe 4 days a week, and then somebody picks him up and they go off to work. So for the last 3 days, if the bus pulls up there, they can't because there's vehicles parking right there.
Well, that is news for me, and we can reach out to Yamhill Transportation.
Yeah, I don't know who brought it or anything. It just popped up there.
Permanent,
No, it's just one of those
looks
little,
like a sandwich board.
yeah, but it's only about this wide.
Okay, that should be a quick phone
Very
call that we can
tiny.
make.
I mean, it's a good idea to let people know there's a bus stop there, but it's not feasible for the bus to stop there the majority of the time.
Well, let's come up with a better plan. We can do that.
Okay,
Anything else, Patty?
the only other thing, water contracts. Do we have any updates on any contacts from any of the districts?
I haven't heard anything from any of the districts at this point.
I've had water contracts out all day on my desk, and we don't have any updates yet. Right now, we are working with, the verbiage still has to go through legal.
Oh, again?
Call the questions.
So,
That was your motion at the meeting, was to have legal answer the questions.
Yeah.
For them. And those questions, I was actually formatting all the questions onto a page right before this meeting to send, to kind of weed through and combine the ones.
so we're gonna try, the idea is to send it to legal once in an efficient manner, so we're not paying a lawyer a lot of money to back and forth email and review so it's just gonna be one list. Here's our concern, for example, surplus water
surplus
is the verbiage, right, that a lot of people use. So that and all of the other things will all go in. The city's attorney is actually out of her office this week, so she won't be back till next week.
Oh, no, I thought you meant the contract was going to the attorney for update, because that's a new contract, isn't
So
it?
the things that came back as issues, that's what we're sending out to legal, so we have definitions for those
Okay,
people, so
okay.
that we can move forward. There's still some debate on whether it's gonna be one contract or multiple contracts, as far as what they're asking for. So by having a little bit better determination from legal, we have a better way to present what we're offering to them.
Okay.
And, it would streamline the process.
They say how long it would take to get an answer to those questions, like is it a
I'm sure it would be
long
like
thing,
a couple
or-
of days.
Okay,
Anything else?
would we get the answers too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll send an email out for all that stuff. And it'll be included in the packets, because we'd be bringing it up in it actually maybe even be a work session,
Okay.
so. Cool. Anything?
Oh.
Good?
I have a question for Angie. So you need for council updates, you need them by when?
The Wednesday prior, because I
So,
have to post everything by Friday.
see, and
So
what if
3
we
weeks
don't,
from
what if
today.
we
So I guess
don't
we
have
need to put it
updates, and I'll give you an
Well,
example.
we can, let's do this after,
Yeah, this is.
cause this isn't the time.
All right.
You and I can,
Okay.
we can, I've got several people I wanna talk to immediately after this, so.
Okay, no, that's fine, that's
Patty,
good,
I love you and your third line.
that's good.
Anyway, with that said, let's move on to those conversations. If I can
Yep.
get a motion,
Motion be adjourned.
A second.
we're done. All right.